Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer asking the FDA to investigate this new energy drink that's called Prime. It's being run by a pair of social media influencers. Schumer describing the drink as a, quote, cauldron of caffeine. They say they have 200 milligrams of caffeine in a 12-ounce can. So joining us to talk about that, a 9 Health expert, Dr. Kohli. I don't know what 200 milligrams is. What is 200 milligrams?
Cauldron.
Yeah, a cauldron of caffeine.
A cauldron of caffeine.
Is that a lot?
It's a lot. It's 3 cups of coffee. And we're talking here not just for an average adult, which is a lot for adults should have about 100 milligrams. But for a teenager or someone who's an adolescent, having that much caffeine is way over the recommended.
But a lot of these energy drinks have that amount, right? It's not like Prime is suddenly new. What's different is their target audience, if you will.
That's right. But a lot of the energy drinks not only have caffeine, they also have herbal stimulants, guarana, ephedrine, ginseng, a lot of things that bind to the caffeine receptor. So sometimes your effective dose of caffeine is much higher.
Whammo.
Oh, so see, this makes sense because there's a lot of them out there. Yeah. I'm not going to name names, but maybe somebody that's a college student would be drinking some of these. Not naming names, but anyway, like Celsius and things like that. But so they take it and then they say, oh, I just need a jolt. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But they've got healthy ingredients in it. This isn't healthy. Those are almost worse then.
They're much worse, Kim, and they also have a lot of sugar in it. So we're looking not just as an onset of potentially heart disease, arrhythmias, all these other problems with excess caffeine and stimulants, but also diabetes occurring in younger populations because this is the energy drink generation. They drink it before finals, they drink it before they work out. They drink it before they go to a concert, and they feel good because you're stimulating every receptor, you're increasing that metabolic rate, but what you're not realizing is the long-term health risks.
So does Senator Schumer want the drinks regulated or the marketing regulated?
Yeah.
That'd be my question because these drinks have been around for a while now.
Yeah, I would say both, but the drinks themselves also need to be regulated because we're not just talking about kids having a hazard to their health. But
and they're not regulated now.
At all. The FDA does not regulate them. They're considered a nutritional supplement. And what we forget is that caffeine is a drug. After all, it's an over-the-counter drug, but it is a drug. And sometimes the dose on the label, like we've talked about before, if the FDA doesn't regulate it, the dose can be several-fold higher than even what they're saying is on the label.
So for the safest way to get caffeine, I keep hearing mixed messages on coffee. You can have a cup of coffee, or
Absolutely.
2 or 3. 2?
Maybe 1 to 2 cups a day for most adults, but coffee drinking or tea drinking in moderation is considered part of a healthy diet, especially for someone who's used to it. It doesn't cause those same physiologic effects. If you're pounding tons and tons of coffee every day, I have patients who drink a pot of coffee, and then they come to me with heart failure. That's when you're setting yourself up for something bad.
So what if you are, let's say, a parent and you have a 16-year-old or a 20-year-old even who says, I still want to get the jolt? Is there a healthy way to get that? Is there a better choice that you can make?
Yeah.
Because you're probably going to get told, oh, Mom, you don't know anything.
Yeah, you don't know anything.
What would you say?
So maybe a cup of tea that has a moderate amount of caffeine, and you know there's not a lot of other additives to it. Exercise is a great way to get that jolt. So you go out for a run, or you get down and do some push-ups. That's a really nice way to stimulate a lot of those same receptors that you generally tend to stimulate when you have caffeine drinks. Drinking a lot of water, that's a really, really nice way to get your energy levels up. And then you know what I'm going to say, 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. So the good old-fashioned things that really get us down in the first place are what we need to fix, rather than putting a Band-Aid on the problem, medicating it with these potentially dangerous over-the-counter types of drinks.
That's the thing, though. We live in the now generation. Like I want it to happen now. Like I don't have a week to get ready to get a jolt.
Yeah, you know? And then
jumping jacks.
The other thing that the cool kids do is they mix it with alcohol too.
So that makes me really nervous because now you've got an upper and you've got a downer and you're mixing them together. And what that actually does is that the upper, the energy part of it, actually masks the effects of alcohol. So you can actually
so you can drink more and that's not good.
And you won't feel it. And so you can actually have the physiologic effects kind of snowball on you because it starts to get out of control without you having some of those warning signs that you're maybe having a little too much to drink. The risk of dehydration as well, with potentially mixing those 2 types of things, as well as cardiac arrhythmias, it all becomes exponentially higher.
Have you seen an energy drink that you would drink or that you would recommend to someone, or are they all pretty much just chemicals that are meant to get you from here to there?
I would say don't start if you don't. I mean, I drink coffee. That's my energy drink. So a cup of coffee or tea probably is okay. But if you're not somebody who's already gotten hooked on energy drinks that don't get started because they're highly addictive. And the problem with these energy drinks, we need more and more of them to achieve the same effect because our receptors change in our brain. So we start really getting what's called tachyphylaxis, used to them, and we need more of them. If you're somebody who's already on them, then think about a weaning plan. And again, look at the sugar content, look at the sodium content, look at a lot of the other additives and chemicals that they have, some of them cancer causing, that can really add up over the course of your life. And we've seen people die from energy drinks. We have 34 reported cases of deaths from energy drinks and a whole host of short-term and long-term.
Yeah, all the stuff you mentioned that we know people, even people like, I'm not a good student of reading labels, but I know when you start talking about sodium levels and sugar levels as well as, caffeine maybe being off the charts, that's all stuff you have to be wary of. You got to protect yourself.
Absolutely, and Tom, with our kids, I worry about developmental problems, attention problems, personality disorders, unmasking, anger issues, and so many different things that we aren't even able to quantify.
Wow. Well, it's something we have to watch. I think we talk about this a lot. We do this with the cell phone, where we talk about kids and their phones, and their phones, and it's us. So you probably have to start with yourself.
Yes.
And make sure that you're behaving properly, and then maybe you can pass it down the line.
I don't drink them.
No?
So I'm proud of myself.
No.
One thing I don't do bad in
I'll
the
have some
world.
coffee,
Okay,
but
all right.
That's about it.
It's all good. Thank you, Dr.
Good
Kohli.
to see you.